everybody. Welcome back for day 3 of our literature article on The Running Dream. I'm Kat.
And I'm Reese.
And today we are talking, we're going to see the end of the story.
Yes.
And as we said, it's a hopeful ending, so we hope that, by the end of this, we'll all be feeling a little bit better. Jessica will be doing better, all of that sorts of things. So it started out with a very sad story. She is a girl in, I think, junior high, right? Who lost her leg in a school bus accident.
Yes, lost her leg and lost a friend as well.
Yeah.
So that was all pretty sad. But then at school, she made a new friend called Rosa, who has a condition called cerebral palsy, which means that she can only move around in a wheelchair, and she's not so good at speaking because it's a physical condition that makes her muscles not really work so well.
Yeah.
So, can Jessica and Rosa become friends and maybe learn from each other about how to navigate life with these serious physical problems?
That's a good question. Let's go ahead and take a look and find out.
Reading. The Running Dream. Jessica and Rosa become close friends. Jessica is inspired by Rosa's strength and positive character. Perhaps Jessica's last running race wasn't the end after all. Perhaps she's at the beginning of a new adventure. Later, Jessica's therapist shows her videos of a below-the-knee amputee who won a Paralympic gold medal. It's proof that she can run again, but she'll need a special running limb. Though these are considered very expensive, Jessica's former teammates decide to take action. They set up a fundraiser called Help Jessica Run and succeed in getting the limb. Once again, Jessica's ready to hit the track. Though she may never beat her old 400-meter time record, she might be able to compete in longer distance races. She's grateful to Rosa for supporting her and wants to share the experience with her. Therefore, at her first race, Jessica doesn't run alone. She runs while pushing Rosa in her wheelchair. As they speed along the track together, Jessica finally feels excited for the bright future ahead of her.
Okay, so today's article begins by telling us that Jessica and Rosa become close friends. Jessica is inspired by Rosa's strength and positive character. Well, looks like day 3 has a bit more of a positive start to it.
Exactly, positive.
Well, before we talk about positive, let's talk about this word inspire. So inspire is a verb and it means to give somebody the urge, energy, or ability to do or feel something, usually something creative. So the article explains that Rosa inspires Jessica. That means Rosa's behavior makes Jessica feel good too, and makes her feel like she wants to do better. So it's good to inspire other people and be inspired. And then we have this word positive. So the word positive is an adjective with the opposite of positive being negative. We sometimes use these words in science, in physics, but here positive is a word that describes something that is good. If something is positive, it is constructive, which means useful, optimistic, which means you feel good about the future, and confident. So I'm generally a very positive person. I always try and see the beautiful and happy things in life.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. It's good to be positive. So an example sentence with positive could be, the vacation was a positive experience for the family, who got to spend time learning about each other.
So it sounds like she's feeling positive because of Rosa's, Rosa is a positive person, so maybe she's helping Jessica feel more positive about her own life.
That's good.
So what it says is, perhaps Jessica's last running race wasn't the end after all. Perhaps she's at the beginning of a new adventure. So this sounds like she's thinking like, well, that part of my life might be over, but it doesn't mean that the whole thing is over. It's just the beginning of a new chapter.
Right, so there's a lot of hope coming through in day 3 of this article. I like it. Well, it tells us more. It says later, Jessica's therapist shows her videos of a below-the-knee amputee who won a Paralympic gold medal.
Ah, yes. I think I know who that is, actually. It's Terry something or other. He was a Canadian, and he won in like the 60s or 70s. He was like one of the first Paralympic amputee athletes.
Okay, well, let's talk about some of those words, including what the Paralympics are. First, though, we have this word amputee. So amputee is a noun, and an amputee is a person who has had a leg or an arm cut off, usually because of an accident or illness. So Jessica is now an amputee.
Yeah.
So a below-the-knee amputee would be a person who has had their leg or legs cut off below the knee. So half of their leg is still there, but the bottom part is no longer there.
Yeah, it's been amputated.
That's the verb.
Yeah.
To have something amputated means it's cut off.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we also have the Paralympic Games here. What are they, Kat?
So it's basically the Olympics, but for people who either have some sort of body modification or disability or have lost a limb. Like in this case, I think a lot of runners who are amputees will compete in the Paralympics, and they might use a special kind of limb that is specifically made for running.
Right, and so the Paralympic Games, they usually happen just after the Olympic Games?
Or at the same time.
At the same time?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and they have kind of some similar sports.
Yeah, they do.
But obviously there are some alterations. I think they do like basketball, but in wheelchairs.
Yeah, they do.
And lots of interesting games for people who aren't as physically able as most of us.
Yeah, as, you know, a person with all their limbs, all their movement.
Right.
Yeah. So the Paralympic Games, it is a possibility for somebody like Jessica who loves to run but is now missing a limb. So what the article says is, it's proof that she can run again, but she'll need a special running limb. Yeah, so proof here is this word that means something that shows a fact or shows that something is true. If you need to show proof of your identity, for example, you might have an ID card or a student card. If you need to show proof that you're telling the truth, it means that something shows you were being truthful. In things like court cases, when you're trying to prove your innocence, the proof might be called evidence, like when they need to show someone is guilty or not guilty. Proof is something you prove being the verb. So an example sentence might be, students have to show proof of their reason for missing school, like a doctor's note.
Right, prove it. Prove it. Well, we also have another word here, which I think we've used a few times before, but let's just clarify what it means. It's the word limb. It's a noun, and it's spelled L-I-M-B. There's a silent B at the end. And a limb is an arm or a leg. It's that easy.
Yep.
Most people have 4 limbs unless you're unfortunate enough, like Jessica, to lose one. Animals also have limbs, and we can also call a bird's wings limbs too.
Yeah, and she has an artificial limb.
She does, yeah. The article said that she'll need a special running limb. So that's talking about a special leg that's been made for her to help her run. So an example sentence could be, all of my limbs were hurting after playing sports all day.
Yeah, so a running limb, as far as I know, they look really interesting, don't they? Because you'd expect an artificial limb to have kind of a foot or a shoe. These don't. They basically have a really, really tiny foot that can spring off the track really quickly and really easily and won't, take a long time or be easy to trip over.
Yeah, I've seen them in videos. They're quite interesting. They're almost robotic.
Yeah.
They're made of metal or some other kind of material, and they kind of give them like a extra bounce in their step.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it very springy. If you had 2 of them, you could probably jump really, really high.
Right, yeah. Well, the article continues. It says, though these are considered very expensive, Jessica's former teammates decide to take action. So these being the special running limbs. So there's a grammar point here to talk about. It's be considered.
Yep.
So let's talk about the word consider and how we can use it to talk about a person and how they might feel or how many people might feel about something. So by using the sentence structure subject, consider, object to be, we can talk about how the subjects feel or think about the object. So, for example, the students consider their math teacher to be quite strict. We can use another structure using consider to express a similar idea. Subject and the being verb plus considered something can tell us how most people think or feel about a particular thing. For example, Alfred Hitchcock is considered one of the best directors in history. His films are beautifully directed. So by using is considered here, we're saying that most people have this opinion.
Yeah, or at least many people.
Yes.
Yeah. So these legs are considered very expensive. So people look at the price and they think, wow, that costs a lot of money. But they decide to take action. Her former teammates take action. When you take action, it means you're doing something about a problem. It implies there is a problem needing to be solved, so you do something like maybe a fundraiser or a protest, or you get signatures, or you do something else to make the solution happen. That is taking action. It's not just saying we're going to do something, it is doing the thing. Yeah. So in the article, what do they do? What kind of action do they take? Well, it says they set up a fundraiser called Help Jessica Run and succeed in getting the limb. Woohoo!
That's
Yay.
good.
It's very good. So we have a few different words in this sentence to talk about. The first is the phrase set up. Set up something means to start something and put it in action, usually an event or a cause. So you might set up an appointment with your doctor if you need to go see the doctor. You might set up a party for your friend, things like that. And what did they set up? They set up a fundraiser. So you can hear these two words, funds being money, and raise being bring up. So fundraising or fundraisers are events to help get money for a certain cause or a certain person, usually by doing something like selling tickets or selling special items like baked goods or doing car washes, stuff like that. I did car wash fundraisers in high schools. That was fun.
Right, so you wash people's cars, they give you money, and that money is used for a good cause.
Yeah, so in our case, we were the school orchestra. We needed money for a competition we wanted to go to. So we washed people's cars, they gave us money, and we put it toward the trip.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There was another word to talk about, and it's a verb, and it is the word succeed. The verb succeed means achieve. To do something that you were trying to do.
Yep.
You did it.
Yay.
If you succeed at something, you do it, and you usually do it well. The noun form of succeed is success, and everybody likes to have success in their lives. So the opposite of succeed is fail. If you fail at something, that means you tried to do something, but you just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So an example sentence with succeed could be, I did not succeed at beating the video game. The final level was just too hard.
Was it Dark Souls?
Oh no, I finished that. I'm so good at Dark Souls.
Oh my god, Dark Souls is so hard. Anyway, so they succeeded in getting her the limb.
That's good.
That's awesome.
So they managed to raise money. They succeeded in raising money, enough of it to get the limb.
Yay.
The article tells us more. It says, once again, Jessica's ready to hit the track. Though she may never beat her old 400-meter time record, she might be able to compete in longer distance races. Okay, so there's some good news here. And there's a word here to talk about. It's record, and it's a noun. And a record is a thing that keeps track of the past. A record usually comes in the form of a piece of writing, though pictures and videos and sounds can be records too. So we use records to record things, which is the verb form, and it's pronounced slightly differently. And it means to write down or to use equipment to save a memory of something, so we can look back at it later.
Yep.
So in the context of the article, the time record is Jessica's previous best attempt at running 400 meters. Her record might be 1 minute and 3 seconds. No, it was
55 seconds.
It was 55 seconds. So if she beats her record, that means she runs faster and sets a new record. So here's another example. The world record for the fastest time running 100 meters is 9.58 seconds.
Whoa. That's more than 10 meters a second.
Yep. I think that was Usain Bolt.
Yeah, that would be him. I don't think anybody's broken it yet.
Very fast.
Yeah, he's the fastest man in the world at this point. All right, so now we have this word compete. She might be able to compete in longer distance races. So maybe the, I don't know, what would it be? The 1,200 meter?
Right.
Something like that?
There's even longer ones, 4,000 meters, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe something about having a prosthetic leg makes you better at running longer distances.
Probably, because it can take a lot more beating, but it might not be quite as efficient for sprinting.
Right.
Yeah. So compete here is this verb. When you compete in something, you enter a competition, and that's the noun of compete, to try to win something against other people. When you think of competing and competition and contests, they're all similar, but they're a little bit different. So contests are often about luck, so things like prize drawings or a receipt lottery or something like that. But a competition is almost always about winning with skill and ability. So art competitions, competing in sports or music or a costume competition or writing competition. If you use your skills to try to win, you are competing. So she's competing against other runners. She is trying to win races. So an example might be, Molly decided to compete in the national singing contest in hopes of winning a recording deal.
So competitions are good because they make everybody try really hard and try their best to be the best person at something.
Yeah.
And it means that everybody can get better together.
That's right.
And whether you win or lose, you can feel good that you have taken part.
That's right. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you feel like, hey, I did my best, and whether you win or lose, that's not the point. The point is that you improve. Yeah. So what is she thinking now? Well, she's back to being able to run. And what about Rosa? The article says she's grateful to Rosa for supporting her and wants to share the experience with her. So grateful, she's feeling grateful. It feels like she wants to thank Rosa. It feels like she wants to show her how much she's glad that she helped, or feeling happy for things. Grateful can also be feeling happy for things you have and thankful that you have them. So being grateful is one of the best things that you can be. It makes a big difference in your attitude if you're thankful for something every day. It makes you a happier person.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to be in Taiwan right now.
Me too.
Yes, it's a cool place to live, especially during the pandemic.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the article continues here. It's almost finished. It says, therefore, at her first race, Jessica doesn't run alone. She runs while pushing Rosa in her wheelchair.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So Rosa's probably never gone, super fast before, so it might be really fun for her.
Yeah, it's a nice way for Jessica to show how grateful she is to Rosa. I imagine being pushed along a running track with a huge crowd of people cheering and watching. That must feel pretty good.
Yeah. And the article finishes by saying, as they speed along the track together, Jessica finally feels excited for the bright future ahead of her. Yay!
A happy ending.
Excitement and hope. That's really good.
So Jessica has learned to live with her leg, and she's learned that life isn't over just because she lost her leg. She can still do her favorite thing. She can still run and compete.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the story. That's the end of the story. And that means that we are at the end of day 3. So that means it's time to go to our For You chat.
For You chat.
All right, so our For You chat question today is related to fundraisers, which is, of course, raising money for something, for a good cause. Have you ever started a fundraiser or given money to one?
Actually, I have.
Yeah.
I host trivia nights
really?
here in Taiwan, and I used to host them as well when I lived in China.
Oh, cool.
So when I was living in Beijing, I hosted a trivia night, which is basically an event where people come and you give them like a pop quiz and they answer questions, and it's a competition.
Yeah, I've been to a few trivia nights where you play on teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and you can kind of show off how much you know about things.
Yeah.
Well, I was hosting an event in Beijing, and I wanted to do one in collaboration. That means doing it together with the Beijing LGBT Center.
Oh, great.
So the trivia questions were all about LGBT culture and history and people, and we sold tickets, and we had like a raffle draw, and all the prizes were donated, and part of the money that we made that night would go to the LGBT Center. So everybody there at the event was working together to get money to give to the LGBT Center, who help, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people to, help support them because they're not always leading the easiest lives.
Yeah, that's true. I've also been I've participated in or given money to a number of different fundraisers, mostly for like human rights organizations or animal organizations, or when I was in school, I did a lot of school supporting ones, or like Girl Scouts. Yeah, so a number of them, and will probably continue to do so.
Yeah, it's a good thing, for those of us that are more fortunate in lives to be secure, live in secure places, and maybe have a bit of spare money. It's important that we help people who are less fortunate than us.
Give back.
Give back, that's right. And I think in Taiwan there are many opportunities to give back to the community.
Yes, exactly. There's always groups that need help. There's worthwhile causes. There's people who are trying to start new businesses or release new things. And Taiwan has a great culture that is worth helping out and worth supporting.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you guys can think about this question too. And if you never have given money or participated in a fundraiser, maybe you can do some research and find out where and when and how you can do that, because there are so many good causes. But for now, we're going to sign off. And my name is Reese.
I'm Kat.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
The Running Dream. Jessica and Rosa become close friends. Jessica is inspired by Rosa's strength and positive character. Perhaps Jessica's last running race wasn't the end after all. Perhaps she's at the beginning of a new adventure. Later, Jessica's therapist shows her videos of a below-the-knee amputee who won a Paralympic gold medal. It's proof that she can run again, but she'll need a special running limb. Though these are considered very expensive, Jessica's former teammates decide to take action. They set up a fundraiser called Help Jessica Run and succeed in getting the limb. Once again, Jessica's ready to hit the track. Though she may never beat her old 400-meter time record, she might be able to compete in longer distance races. She's grateful to Rosa for supporting her and wants to share the experience with her. Therefore, at her first race, Jessica doesn't run alone. She runs while pushing Rosa in her wheelchair. As they speed along the track together, Jessica finally feels excited for the bright future ahead of her.
Vocabulary Review. Positive. Jerry has a very positive personality, and he always cheers his friends up. Proof. The video shows proof that this man stole some items from the store. Limb. After I sat at a desk all day, I needed to stretch my limbs a bit. Succeed. James succeeded in passing all his final exams after many long weeks of studying. Record. Jamie set the record for the fastest time anyone has run 800 meters at our high school. Compete. I like to compete against my friends when we play video games together.
智慧小补帖
Inspire. Amputee. Fundraiser. Grateful.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net